Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Strawberry Hill Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Simmons. And as always, we're here at the Shop Cigar Lounge. And I know this episode comes out next Tuesday, but tonight we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary. It's huge. Thank you guys for all the support and love. I never thought it'd be 2 years already. It feels like it's only been like 6 months, but thank you everybody for always supporting me. Anyway, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms at Strawberry Hill Podcast. And so, as you see, I'm smoking an Emami cigar. And, of course, I have to have Amin Emami here himself.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. First of all, thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this.
Yeah, of course.
And I can't believe a 2-year anniversary
2
tonight,
years
bro.
flown by, man. I remember you came in, what was it, last year, year before?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
I think it was just in your first,
Yeah.
you weren't even a year in.
I was still a baby. I'm still a baby. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet.
Oh, my gosh. But I think it was close to it. It was like maybe a month or
Yeah, it was
away
early
from
on.
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So how have things been, man?
Bro, so many things have happened since then. So things are great. Yeah, exciting.
So you have the Emami line cigars, correct?
Right, yes.
And then how long have you been, was it 2022 you said?
Yeah, so I started the company in the official paperwork of getting the company started was in July 2022. The official launch to the public with the cigars was in December 2022. So technically, end of 2022.
Yeah, we'll still count it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So what made you just say like, hey, I want to start my own line of cigars?
Oh, man. All my stories are long stories.
Hey,
I'm going to make it short.
No. Hey, we got an hour.
We're be here for 2 hours just explaining
we
that
got an
one,
hour.
okay?
Go ahead, man.
Well, I love cigars, obviously, I started smoking in my 20s, and then I got obsessed in my 30s. Just so you know, I'm 40, almost 43. So that kind of put
You're not old.
Put
I'm
the
39.
timeline.
I'm 39.
Let me
You're
make
not
sure
old.
that everybody understands where these grays come from. So
Those are wisdom highlights.
Wisdom, yeah. Wisdom. Stress, wisdom, whatever you call it. But in my 30s, when I was obsessed, I was smoking so much and all sorts of different cigars and spending thousands of dollars. And I'm a business guy. So that's where it sparked. And I was like, dude, I'm spending a lot of money. I love this shit.
Yeah.
Why don't I start my own company? So that's where it really started. It brewed and brewed and brewed over the years. I just started studying, the tobacco, studying the industry, just trying to learn everything as much as I can to, okay, how is it possible for me to get into this game?
Yeah.
And I think it was like when I was like 37, 38, I started just calling everybody in the industry that I knew connection-wise. And it's a funny story is I actually met a guy from Miami. This was in the Lawrence Lounge, one of the Lawrence location lounges. His dad is one of the biggest criminal lawyers in Miami. His biggest client is the My Father guys. I don't know if everybody they're going to be like, what are you talking about now on this podcast? I didn't say anything incriminating.
No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So from that connection, he called me 6 months later. He said, do you remember that? Do you remember the conversation? You said you're trying to get in this thing. I got somebody. He said, you ready for a 3-way call? I said, I was more ready. Let's go. He calls the guy, gets on the phone. I tell him everything for an hour. I'm explaining what I want, this, that. And the guy's like, what's going on over here?
Let's just baby steps
this
here.
Motherfucker, just chill out, chill out. But from that conversation, that's all it was. They said, we like you. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. I told them what tobacco, what blend I want, and literally just spend the money and got the tobacco, got the blending coming in. I had like multiple different cigars that were coming in, we're testing, and on the back end, this is like a little bit before even July. And then we were already in the blend phase, and then July, I was like paperwork, and then by December, we honed down the 5 original ones that you know about, honed down those 5, and I said, that's it, let's rock and roll. So it kind of started from just being obsessed and loving it and understanding that I'm spending too much fucking money for other brands.
How do I make this?
I need to make
money?
my own.
Yeah.
So that's really what
so it's funny because a lot of people like you, like me too. Like I love cigars, love smoking them. And I was just like, how can I make money? How can I make a business out of this? Yeah. And I decided to go lounge wise, right? Like, and you decided to go cigar. Like, let me make my own cigars. So that's a huge jump. Like,
well, no, I love lounges. I support anything I can do to support the lounges. I'm in, right? But for me, I've been in the retail business too in the past. I was like, I do not want to get into that. For me, I was like, I want to be on the manufacturing side, distribution side, and the supply chain side.
Yeah.
Because that's where I saw that, okay, I would shine better. Like, I would be more passionate about that, and I'm very creative. You are too, and I see that, man, this place is, if you haven't been here, first of all, motherfuckers, you're missing out. You gotta get in here right now.
Appreciate that.
Especially tonight. I mean, if you can make it in tonight, you better do it tonight, because it's a 2-year anniversary. It's going to be one of the biggest nights. So let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
So for me, that was the biggest reason why I wanted to be on the other side. I was just tired of the retail scene, and it's not, I mean, this is a little bit different atmosphere. I don't think there's other retails that I can say, oh man, I would never want to touch, but this is a little bit more chill. Yeah. Cigar lounges, but still, that was the reason.
So you said you worked in retail, right? So what did you do before all this?
Shit.
This is like a number of jobs.
I've done so many things. Let's not go back to my street days. I know you were a cop too. Hold on a second.
Hey,
but isn't it something that they said if you were like 15 years ago, it doesn't count anymore?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. We're talking about a long time ago.
Yep.
No, I'm joking, but seriously, on a serious note, man, I've done so many things. I've worked in fast food. My first job when I came in 2001, I was in Lawrence. It was Taco Bell. Taco Hell.
Taco Hell, yeah, of course everybody. Taco Bell is like the best food
when you're
drunk. Yes.
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going
There's
to
never been
Taco Bell.
never been anything better. If you eat that shit sober, you're like,
it just doesn't
throw
taste
my
the
stomach.
Same.
Yeah,
it just doesn't taste the same if you're not drunk. You got to get drunk to have that food. I still eat it.
Oh yeah,
but I'm not drunk when I eat it now. I still eat it even if I'm not drunk. But yeah, Taco Bell, I'm in fast food industry. I did painting. I've done managing like a copy printing place. Then I went to managing grocery stores, Hy-Vees. So I did two different years, 2 different stores, managing some Hy-Vees in Lawrence. I'm trying to think. I done mechanic work, dude. I did a mechanic work for a year.
You're like a jack of all trades.
I just tried to, just see what I love. I was like, you know what? I was in a stage in my life those times that I was just trying everything I can, learning new skills. And then I realized, okay, I like the business side of things. I've always, liked that anyway. But I started realizing, okay, I don't want to fucking answer to anybody, first of all. I don't want to fucking work for anybody anymore. I need to be on this end. So those really helped me gauge the business side of aspects, especially on the managing sides. That's where I learned a lot of things on their dime, on their risk. I was zero risk. I was just learning and making moves. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, it's time for me to take the risk.
So what was like the aha moment of like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do something else. Like I gotta do the cigar thing.
The cigar thing.
Because are you doing this full time?
No. I am doing this full time, but I work 90 hours a week.
And like another job too?
No, I have 3 other businesses.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, so I have edibles business, THC edibles business.
Why didn't you bring any of that?
Oh, I didn't know. I was like, man, I don't know if he's going to confiscate me. He's going to arrest me.
Nah, I mean, we are filming sometimes in Missouri like today. No, I'm just kidding.
What? So edibles, and then I have IT business. We do a lot of stuff for that too, business contracts, things like that. And then I do a lot of manufacturing from like China. So like anything you see in this room, obviously 80% of all this stuff is coming from China. So, and I do it on volume. So my clients will call me and say, hey, I need like, for example, I need to fill up my new lounge with like 20 different chairs, custom this. No problem. I make a call, 24 hours later, here you go.
Damn.
So it's
if I need something, you're the guy.
I will make it happen. Yeah, because I've been dealing with China for about 15 years. So I have a very good pool of manufacturers that, it's direct. There's no like 2 or 3 people in the middle anymore. So I'm directly working with those guys. So it's nice, you know, it's nice to have that kind of connection because obviously, you know, goods. You need goods.
Yeah.
So
tell me about the THC stuff. How the hell you went from cigars? You're like, let me get on the other side of it too.
well, cigars is the last business of all this.
So
I was in the IT thing. I actually went and managed the IT business in 2013, and then eventually I bought that business out. So IT was the first one. Then I got into the CBD and then the THC part of things, and that was in 2019, right when COVID was happening. Oh man, fuck. I don't even want to think about that moment. Now I just brought back those memories. I started the business, COVID happened, and I was like, no one can buy anything.
Yep.
Everyone's shut down. So I was going home crying with my thumb in my mouth every night, like, what did I do? But then I was like, you know, fuck it. Let's go online. People can buy online, and this is when they need to do it. So I just went crazy. I started fucking paying the shit out of, you know, to influencers, just broadcasting it so they go online, buy it. It helped.
Yeah.
Got me off the ground. And then boom, stores open. I was in. So that was that story of that, how that started.
Yeah.
Crazy timing. So 2019 started that. But, you know, I've always been an advocate of, like, just CBD, especially CBD.
Yeah.
Because of, like, just high anxiety. I've always dealt with some of that.
Yeah.
And
I
CBD
had
helps.
anxiety and PTSD and all that stuff, and that shit
Same.
helps.
Oh, I'm out from fucking Iran, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up in the middle of a fucking war. Iran and
Jesus.
Iraq war. So, yeah, you best believe I got PTSD. Every time the alarms go off for tornadoes, I'm like, oh, well, fuck, bomb's coming. You know? So that's really where my PTSD comes from, probably, is just growing up in those type of environments, you know? And then, so I got into that because of that. But then I started realizing, man, I got to get into the THC side. That's where the real big money is. You know, I mean, it helps. Some people take it for, you know, medical reasons, but a lot of people just take it for recreation, and well, that's where the money's at.
Sure.
So as a business guy, you know, I was like, I got to get into that. So that's kind of how that started. And we do it on the Kansas side, so it's from hemp.
Yeah.
It's not marijuana. You know, Missouri side, you got to be licensed. And
Hopefully
do
it changes soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope
it
so.
will. You know how Kansas is. We're always like 5-10 years behind Missouri.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Always the last state to do something.
It's crazy. So, and it was a big hiccup there in that business too. So, in Lawrence, just a few years ago, the DA sent out a letter threatening everybody that's even selling those that are legal in Kansas that we're going to come arrest you. So it was a huge hiccup. We lost like $100,000.
Well, what would they come arrest you for if you were doing it for or legally?
Yes, that was what we were. So I called everybody in the city. I called the sheriff's department, this department. I was meeting with people. They were like, no, we're not going to come arrest you. We're not going to do it. She's going to send it to us. We're not going to do anything. This is not on our radar. Everything's legal. There's nothing. So it was a big hiccup, though, because a lot of the retail guys that were buying, they were scared. They don't have the amenity to go and talk to these guys and pay these guys and figure things out, and lawyers. They're just like, dude, I'm just not going to buy it. So it was a big hiccup. That was, and then recreation happened. So for me, I think it was political.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're getting ready for Missouri to do the whole rec, and, you know, so that's kind of like probably what happened.
So you got your own brand? What's it called?
Black Diamond.
Black Diamond.
Yeah, you remember seeing my car with the whole wrapped up with the freaking weed leaf all over it?
I did put two and two together.
You know? Well, I changed it. I mean, right now I'm driving the truck, but now I changed it to the Emami Cigars because I'm going to a lot more lounges.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell?
What the fuck's going on over here? It's like, all right. Let me less confuse you guys. So it's rewrapped now.
So with the cigar line, and it's just you, right? So when
you mean it's just me, it's just not me because, you know,
I mean like not like you're not making the cigars or anything. I'm talking about it's just you traveling around, getting the word out, doing everything, sales.
Yes, when it comes to the repping, when it comes to the distros, all those things, it's really me. I have guys that come help, you know, from the distribution center to pack stuff, ship stuff, you know, things like that. But as far as sales, marketing, all of that, it's me right now. Yeah, it's been me since pretty much day one.
It's tough.
Yeah, bro.
I get it. I mean, I have help here, and I'm so thankful for my help. But majority of the time, it's just me.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. Yeah,
it's a lot of work. but I enjoy it, and I'm the guy that understands you got to put in some work in the beginning, to get things off the ground. And when things start rolling really well, you hire that out, so it's one of those things that this isn't the first business. So I understand you got to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I mean, if you want to spend a shit ton of money right off the bat, that's fine. You could do it. But for me, it's like, I'd rather spend that money into the infrastructure. I'd rather spend that money in the quality of the tobacco, the things that really the people need to enjoy. Right. So it's like, all right, I'll do some hard work in the beginning. And
so tell me how your first couple years have been in the cigar industry.
Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah.
I would be crazy to always be here and say, oh, amazing. And people are like that, dude. I'm like, dude, come on. There's got to be some crazy ass shit in there. So there's always crazy shit. Every day in business, you're going to have goods and bads, things happening, right? So it's been challenging things, but overall, I don't regret anything. I love it. I actually like that I have to go through some of those challenges because you learn from them. Makes you stronger, makes you better. So, and then you get to turn that and someday maybe teach someone else that wants to get in the industry and give it back. So for me, it's like, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
My aha moment getting in, this industry's been fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But like you said, there's ups and downs. My aha moment, I know I've talked about this before in the podcast, but I don't know if I've ever told you. Like, there was a guy that was helping me out. He was from Florida. He's my mentor, right? And I met him when I went to my sister's wedding down in Florida. I'm not going to say where because I'll give it away. But like, I met him. We were talking cigars. I said, hey, I want to open up my own lounge. He was like, cool, And he was like, let me give you some pointers. Talked for about 3-4 hours. It was great conversation. And then he was like, hey, man, here's my number. Just let me know if you need any help, like, in the future. I'm like, cool. And then that was in July. And July. And I talked to him for about twice a week for about 6 months. Just like, hey, what do I do here? What do I, what should I buy? Where should I go? All this other stuff. He helped me out tremendously.
Oh, I love that.
And then when it got down to ordering product, he was just like, hey, like, let me order it for you. Like, you can pay for it. Like, ship it to me because you should, like, don't worry about the taxes. I have a good deal with them. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But no. It gets worse.
Oh shit.
So I was like, cool. I'm green to this. I don't know. I'm not sure who to order from. Like, I know you talk to reps and stuff like that. But I'm brand new. This is a month before I open. So he's just like, hey, just order from your wholesaler so you can get everything, and then you can build your relationship with your reps, and then you can go from there. Yeah. But he was just like, hey, put your big order in. I'll take care of the tax, ship it here, then I'll just mail it to you for free. I'm like, cool. Do my big orders, about 9-10 grand. I don't hear from him.
Oh fuck!
I was like,
oh no,
yo, and I was a cop before.
Cool.
Yeah, I was a cop before, so my radar wouldn't kick it in on like, this guy's gonna fuck me over.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, calling him, didn't answer, and then I finally call his shop because I was calling his personal phone. Or no, I was calling him, and then he sent me a picture. It was like, hey, I've been in the hospital. I'm sorry. I'll get your stuff to you. Yeah. I'm like, cool. Nothing. I'm like, all right.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, this dude's fucking me over. I call his shop. He answers. Oh, hey, Mike. Yeah, I'm here. I'll ship it to you today or tomorrow. I'll send you the tracking order. And I was like, hey, man, like, don't fuck
Where's
me over.
My shit,
don't
man?
Fuck me over. And he's like, nah, bro, I got this.
Oh, what a bad taste. Right,
and then never got it. And then I'm now at this point, I'm 2 weeks before I open, and I don't have product.
The timing. Yeah, you don't have time to do.
I don't have product. Shit. Yeah, and so I'm like, motherfucker. And so
start calling other lounges.
I call Deebles, and they are big help to me.
Oh, nice.
And but so I just had to reorder everything. So I'm already 10 grand in the hole, like from the get go before I even open the doors. And I
did the right thing.
Yeah,
like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, yo, what? Like, this is like my first intro to the cigar industry. I'm like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
But then I was like, the people are great. Everybody's great. And I was like, I had one bad hiccup. And I remember my wife's like, we need to go down there. we need to go get your stuff. And I was like, if I go down there, I'm going to go to jail. Yeah. But I was like, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to take my stuff and I'm also going to hurt him.
Go to jail, yeah.
I'm going to hurt him. Yeah. And I'm going to go to jail. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah, exactly. I can't get a felony in Florida. Yeah. So
Dade County.
But so I was like, you know what? Chalk it as a loss. Because, I was going to do the legal battle, but it was going to cost more. Yeah. To get everything and do it, and then especially since it's in Florida. Yeah. And then it was like, how do I fight that when I bought it and sent it to him? So he could just be like, well,
I'll give you an advice. Next time you make any transaction like that, put it on your credit card.
Yeah. Well, I did.
You could have disputed it.
Yeah, but it was so far out.
Oh, yeah. He knew the game.
Yep, he knew the game.
He knew that after like this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. And so trust me, I thought about that. And so I was like, you know what? Chocolate lost. But recently, it was like, I want to say, it's probably 6 months ago. I told the story to a friend of mine before, and it kind of got brought up like 6 months ago, and I was like, yeah, screw that guy, whatever. And he looked him up on Google. He was like, hey, man, they're shut down. He's like, this place and another place. I was like, shady. I makes sense. I was like, he probably wasn't doing well, and he was like, this is my...
needed the money.
Yep.
And he didn't know how to...
So I was like, what goes around comes around. Because that was one of the reasons why I didn't go to PCA the first couple of years. Because I was like, if I see him there, I'm going to beat his ass.
Yeah, I would have felt the same way, bro. Especially starting off, you cannot afford missing anything, let alone $10,000. That's a big chunk for a new business starting out.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is spending the money and you're not gaining anything back yet. So it's pretty stressful.
Yeah, it was a big blow. Because I remember that was before my grand opening. And so my humidor was like half.
Oh man, I wish I knew you then.
But I mean, it took care of itself.
Whatever you need, I got you.
Yeah, no, it took care of itself. And like I said, there are some great people in this industry, and I don't regret anything. It's just kind of lesson learned. Like, don't trust it. And I should have known that. Like my cop radar wasn't going off.
It's tough because you get those bad tastes in your mouth, and sometimes it makes you feel like, man, I should be cautious about people in general and put your guard up. But my motto is, you got to be smart. Obviously, think about the radars and red alerts, but you got to give people the benefit.
Oh yeah, and I try to.
There's very good people in this industry, and there's definitely shady ass fucking people in the industry. Even on the manufacturing side, I go back there and we have conversations and names come up and I'm like, oh shit, he's doing that. Oh fuck. So it starts from everywhere in this industry. There's good and bad.
I will say that I have met I have met some of the best people I've ever met in my life in the cigar shop.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so hard to explain.
Like all sorts of
walks of life,
all sorts of different things, and you're like, man, you get together over a cigar, and you could just like become great friends. Total opposite. Like I have friends, from this, and I'm like, dude, I would have probably never ever been a friend with this guy if it was not over this cigar.
Yeah, it's crazy to see, especially in here. It's like we'll have construction worker and a millionaire sitting right next to each other, and they're just chopping it up, and they don't even mention work. And it's like, where else would you have that? Like, where they'll both be in the same place, both be able to hang out, talk to each other, and like having a good time.
Not a lot of places.
Not a lot of places.
I think this is probably the prime because you think of like places that they would hang out would be like golf courses, things like that. But then even a lot of the average guys, unfortunately, they don't spend the money to go there because it can get expensive. But now, I mean, so yeah, I think the lounges are probably the top.
So tell me about your cigars, man. Like who makes them and like what lines you got that were outspoken the Komodo.
Yeah,
fantastic cigar.
Oh, thank you, bro.
You're right. It's got a little bite to it. Yeah.
And you're not even. So remember, I told you, the Komodo dragon, it bites you, and it kind of lingers, and then towards the end, you're like, right? So you haven't even got to the middle yet.
Y'all, it is 10 in the morning, so he's trying to put me out early.
Hey, I asked you, I said, you want a full cigar?
I'm good.
All right, I'll give you a real full cigar. No, bro, I mean, whatever you want to know. So, I mean, I kind of give it to you as like an overall, so you kind of understand like how my business operates. So, factories in Esteli, Nicaragua. We just actually upgraded the factory. So we went from a smaller to a bigger one because we have about 100 people in the factory. We grow, we have fields, we grow our own tobaccos, which I don't typically use it a lot on my own stuff because I like to use aged tobacco. So a lot of the higher aged tobacco, we purchase it from people like AJ. And then we bring it into the factory and then we blend it. So I have a blender that's a master blender that kind of blends the way I want it.
Yeah.
And then I test it and then I say no. And then they're like, fuck you. We're fucking done blending for you. And then we go back and forth, blend it. I say, this is perfect. And then it goes into production and then packaging and then distribution and then so on. But yeah, we have 16 different cigars now.
That's crazy.
I know. Yeah. When you met me, we just 5. Started our 6th and 7th. We had the 5, and the 6th and 7th were like coming out when I met you, and that was a year and a half, year and maybe a couple months, ago, and then now we're at 16. So big increase.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So how often do you go to Nicaragua?
I try to go as much as I can. I mean, my goal is to be there every quarter because the more I'm there, the more I can see the different tobaccos and the future projects. It really helps be more ahead of the curve of the expansion that I want to do.
Yeah.
So it helps to be there. And, of course, checking out the cigars that are coming out, making sure the quality is good and, all that, which we don't really have a lot of issues with that. I mean, the factory, MGE factory is called. Miguel, there's a couple Miguel's names. So it's Miguel. There's a Miguel, which is the head guy, and then Miguel is the operating manager also. And then, these guys, they're great. They make sure everything is running smooth. Really don't have to worry about our cigars.
So tell me about Nicaragua. You love going down there? I haven't been down yet, man.
You got to go.
I need
come
to
with
go.
me. Next time we go, I'll hit you up. Be like, bro, we're going. You better come.
Yeah.
Last time we went, we had a guy from a cigar place in St. Louis. He was there with us, and then we had a couple other guys. So, I mean,
that's
invite
awesome.
will be out. You just come out.
Yeah.
Hang out with us.
I would love to go. I hear so many stories about how awesome it is down there, and just smoking all day, eating good food, just chilling.
Amazing food. I mean, you're talking about amazing food for amazing price, right? Steak dinners, lobster, this, that, $25. Your $100 dinner here is $25 there. So you eat great, and smoke cigars all fucking day, all night. Drink good drinks at night.
That sounds like I need to go.
Yeah, and you're visiting the farms, you're visiting the drying areas, you're visiting the factories. I mean, it's just all about the industry and having fun during the day.
Yeah,
making some moves, making some deals, negotiating, meeting people, networking, and then just having fun.
So, what's your favorite cigar? Yours?
Yeah.
It's like saying, who's your favorite kid? You only got one, so.
So that's tough, bro. So remember, everyone I have a very close relationship because I'm in the blending phase with my blender, right? So it has to be something that I'm standing behind. So I love them all. But I have my go-tos depending on my mood and the time of the day and things like that. Like when I first start, I usually don't go with a full one. I start out with my Cyrus, which is that Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. It's a little mild.
Yeah.
Starts me out. Then I phase into the Diamond Series Toro, which is a Habano. And then I kind of graduate into different cigars. So it's hard for me to say this is my favorite cigar. But if I had to pick one, it would be
I'll say pick 2.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I gotta
make it a little bit better.
I'm gonna be very smart about this comment here. I have 2 that I have one named after my son, and the second one I named after my wife. Those are my favorite.
There we go. I'm glad I said 2.
We got the Alexander series, and then we got the La Bella Victoria.
There you go. Smart man. So and talk about kids. You just recently had your son.
Yeah, in 2 weeks he'll be 1 year.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
So I love him so much. Yeah. Bro. I mean. The feeling, you're a dad, but, when I was becoming a dad, I was nervous at first. I was like, what's going to happen? This is my
there's
first
no
thing.
playbook on it.
Nothing, right? But once, the moment he came out, I was like, I love you. I am going to provide everything for you guys. You are my life.
Yeah.
It just changes you.
It's a whole different feeling. It's like, literally when your first kid comes out, it's just like, I would die for you, like right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like I am.
And every week something happens that you're like, man, that's kind of what I do. He's got my hands. He's got my little gesture. He's got my goofy. I don't know. It's like, it's like, oh man, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
So how's it been with like work life, personal life now? Since you got a kid, you're married, and you're working 90 hours a week.
It's tough. It's tough. The balance thing, when people say you gotta have this balance, like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a fine line, right? Because you gotta make time for your kid, you gotta make time for your wife, and you also have all this other shit going on. So my goal has always been, if I have an opening, I'm fucking spending it with my family.
Yeah.
Friends call me. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I love you. I can't, something. And I still hang out with my friends too, but it's become less and more towards that. So it's a matter of, that's my balance. So, and I'm sure my wife is probably like, fuck you. You need to spend more fucking time with me.
Yeah.
I don't blame her at all. But, we got businesses and ambitions and things that I want to do. So for me, it's tough to say it, because when I hear it back myself saying that, it's kind of like, man, really? Is that what life is about?
Yeah.
I sometimes have to debate that. But for me, it's like I'm sacrificing things, because I want, when I leave a legacy for my kid, for his kid, and so on. So my goal is to do that. So if it means that I have to sacrifice some of this, less time and things to build, and then leave that, hopefully they don't fuck it up, draw it down the drain, then that's why. So
it sounds like you're quite the family man, right? I love it. But you mentioned something earlier about growing up. And was it Iran? Iran and Iraq war, bro. You got to tell me about that. We can't just gloss over that.
Bro.
So did you grow up over there?
Yeah. So I was born in 82. And I left there and came to the U.S. in 91. And
so you spent a good time, or a good amount of time over there.
Good amount of time. Yeah. And the Iran-Iraq war was in 80 to 88. So 8 years. And you got to remember, during that time, 79, Shah was leaving the country. The revolution was happening, where the Islamic State was coming in. Yeah. So there was a whole lot of fucking chaos already happening right before the war. The mullahs and all that crazy shit. That's they're taking over now. It's I'm not going to get into a lot of the politics, but they fucked up the country. Right. A lot of the people, they don't want that. They want it westernized. They want democracy. They love America. Don't look at the fucking news. It's not the real what's going on out there. But yeah, growing up, I remember, I have memory. My mom and dad divorced when I was 3, and right around that time is when my memory really kicked in. So I think that because like the separation kind of fucked with me. Yeah. So it's like I started just paying more attention to things of what's happening, and that really, like, I can remember a lot of shit from then. So around that time, I remember I was going back and forth with different families, because mom left, and I didn't see my mom since when I was 3 till 9. I came here, I didn't see her at all. Yeah. So I was like kind of going back and forth with different families. Dad was just party animal. He was young still, and he was not equipped to be a good father at that time.
Is it just you?
Yeah.
Like no other kids?
Between mom and dad, it's just me. They both remarried, had another kid. Yeah. But yeah, I was the only child in that family. So when that happened and I was moving around, I just remember at times that like sirens were going off with the war I was telling you about, PTSD from that. Yeah. We had to shut down all the lights because, they would censor, where there's more lights and heat. So you got to make sure that everything looks dark and cold. Jeez. That way these things, missiles and shit, don't come in and hit you. Yeah. Because they're coming in. You can hear them. All fucking night. Yeah, like sirens going off. So yeah, it was a crazy time, and I just remember as a kid, I was like, "What the fuck is?"
And that lasted till you said like 88.
88.
God. Yep. So from 82 to 88,
it was all about war.
Yeah, I mean, from your life, 82 to 88. Yeah.
Yep. So it was. Yeah, I mean, you don't think about the PTSD part of things until you grow up, and then like you hear a siren here for a tornado, and then
You
you're
just
like,
get down,
you just kind of start feeling like
fuck, the missiles are coming to Kansas.
you know what I mean? Like that's when you realize, oh shit, that's the effect. You know, because as a kid growing up, you just go through those things, and the anxiety, and all those things probably comes from a lot of those things. But yeah, it was a crazy time there.
So what brought you here?
So my mom, she reached out after a while, and I remember the first time that I got on the phone with her, I was like, "Why the fuck did you leave me? Where the fuck are you at?" Mm-hmm. And she was like, "I'm in the U.S. You have another brother. Do you want to come live with me?" And at that time, I was like, all about, "Oh, mom, yes, I want to come." So that was like when I was like 7. That conversation kind of happened, and then she had to come and get me to go to Turkey to get my visa. Mm-hmm. She was already a citizen because she remarried a citizen.
Yeah.
So that was an easy process for me to get me out. Mm-hmm. She applied, and I had to go get as a kid, I had to do an interview, and they're asking me these crazy questions.
Just like I'm 7. I have no clue what the hell you're talking about.
Who's your dad? What did you do? Why did he leave your mom?
I don't know. I like Power Rangers, though.
What are you talking about? Why are you leaving? Go to my mom. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It was crazy. But they gave it to me. They gave me the visa, and then we came to the U.S. together. She brought me here in 91. So it was really just trying to be with my mom. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is your dad still over there?
Mm-hmm. He's never left.
Really?
Yeah, he's always been there. And I'm sure he would want to come here too. But the relationship kind of drifted away. I learned some things as an adult.
Yeah.
We wanted to conversate about that, and it wasn't really a good conversation. And I definitely tried to give him some. I've tried, but it didn't work out as well.
Did your mom move to Kansas? Like, or how did you get here?
So my stepdad, he was a restaurateur. I don't know is that how you say it? Restaurateur, people who own restaurants.
Sure.
There's a word for it apparently. Yeah, but he was doing that as a thing, and he had a lot of places in Michigan, and they were living in Michigan when I moved here. But he was liquidating stuff and trying to come because he had more stuff in Kansas. Like, what the fuck? The fucking guy got fucking everywhere. So we were in Michigan at first, and then we came to Lawrence. I was living in Lawrence. I went to Hillcrest Elementary School. That was fun because I didn't know any fucking English when I got here. So they're just like, "Here you go, public school." I'm like sitting in the class, like teachers asking me questions. I'm like, I knew hi, bye. And I don't know English. I knew how to say that to get out of shit. And Apple for some reason. I don't know why. And that was eventful.
So, I mean, when you came here, was it just like a big wake-up call, like
culture change?
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you would always watch the movies and, things and understand that, oh, my God, that world is totally different than our world. But once you get here, I mean, just right off the bat, the smell. I will never forget how clean smell it is when I got here.
Really?
Everyone's nice smell. I mean, the air there, it's polluted, you know, and like people probably don't shower as much.
Yeah.
So there's smells that, you smell. And that was like the first thing for me. And then the food, of course, and just the way things were and just operational wise and organization of the country. And it was just totally different.
Yeah, and especially you moved from Iran to Michigan.
Yeah.
That's like the complete opposite.
Huge.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I was from Tehran, the capital city, and that was like 10 million people there.
Yeah.
Huge city.
Jesus. Yeah.
So everywhere I went, it was nice, but I was like, where's
everybody? Yeah, yeah.
Where's all the fucking
Were they all at home?
at?
Yeah.
So as a kid, I'm like, what's going on here, Everyone hiding?
So do you go back at all?
I went back one time, and that was in 99. I was going to go visit for like maybe 6 months max, and I was on a green card.
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to get a re-entry card extension for 6 if you want to be outside for like more than a month.
Yeah.
So I got it for 6 months max. I went there, stayed there for a little bit, and then I got stuck. The government was like, "You're not fucking leaving. You're getting close to being 18.
What?
You need to go to the Army. So I became a fugitive of the Army. I had to find someone to pay to legally make document for me to get the fuck out.
No
It was
shit.
a whole shit show. So I didn't
So they
leave
tried
till I
to
was
just
19.
They tried to all right, now we got you. Now you're stuck.
So I left when I was 19. That was 2 years
Yeah.
in the country.
And you
So
only had a
much shit
6-month
happened.
visa.
I had so much fun, so
Yeah.
much crazy shit. I went to jail, you know.
No shit.
Oh,
Out
yeah.
over there?
Over there. Oh, yeah. And that was over, well, you're not supposed to pick up girls in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, hey, what's up? Let's go together, you know. And
It's illegal to do that?
It's illegal to do that. Yes. It's an
And
Islamic state, bro.
They
You
picked
cannot
you
do
up
that
for
shit.
that. Like,
Yes.
Hey, well, you can't
They're
talk
like,
to
yo,
girls.
motherfucker, you know.
Yeah.
But dude, those guys, they've been living there all their life. They know how the system works. They know, like, they're like freaking professionals. The girls got in, they're like, oh, yeah, and blah, blah, blah. They were like, oh, we're getting followed. I was like, oh, who, where, where are they at? I looked around, I didn't even know who the fuck they're talking about. They knew. I was like, okay. And then the guy, my friend that was driving the car, is like, yeah, we're getting followed. All right, girls, so we're going to go here. And they're like talking, and I'm like, just trying to figure out what the fuck is happening here. You know, like, what the fuck? This is not normal. And the girls were like, just park over here. And dude, when he parked, the girls were like, I looked around, I was like, ghosts.
Where'd it go? Yeah.
They're professional motherfuckers. Gone. Cops, pulled in. Get the fuck out of the car. Where'd the girls go? Da, 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 da. It was crazy. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Now I acted like I don't know any parts.
Yeah. You're like, no, I speak English. Yeah.
Bro, I did say that. That was not a good move. That was the worst move I could have done. And my friend looked at me and was like, you fucked up now. We're fucked. The guy's like, oh, American boy, huh? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. He fucking beat me, all sorts of shit. Slapped I have glasses, you know, like prescription glasses back then. Slapped me so hard, my glasses flew in the back of the car. Tried to drag me out of the car. And then, you know, he started asking me. He kept telling me to shut up, shut up, shut up. And then he asked me questions, so I just was quiet. He's like, why the fuck are you not answering me? I said, you told me to shut the fuck up? I was just mad, you know. That didn't go well either. So they're like, we're going to make an example of your fucking ass.
Oh, no.
They handcuffed me, took me to this crazy-ass jail, you know, booked me in, and it was a whole process. But once we got into the like holding cell, it was like a dungeon. It was a tunnel. And you had to duck down, and there was multiple people sitting there like this because they wanted it to where you can't move. So you were like sitting like this, like the height of that was here.
Yeah.
So you had to duck in. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like this. It smells like piss, shit, all sorts of shit. And you're sitting there with criminals, rapists, killers. You know, I'm over here like, what the
I picked
fuck
up a
did
girl.
I do, bro?
Yeah.
But that was their thing. That was like, we're going to make a fucking example of you. Fuck you. You know, they didn't like the whole American thing. So, yeah, I went to that jail.
How long were you in jail for?
Well, my grandparents back home, they're very influential. So I made a call to my grandma, but I love my grandma, bro. I learned a lot from that lady. She is like, when she gets serious, like you piss your pants kind of lady, right? I called her. I said, I'm here. She was like, what the fuck? Where are those bitches at? She knew right off the bat. She's like, where the fuck are those bitches at? I'm going to beat their ass. I was like, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm saying that word, you know, but everybody understands, you know. I have respect for women. Let me say this.
Yes.
You know, but that was kind of like her attitude. She's like, I'm going to fuck them up. I was like, Grandma, there's no girls. She's like, then why are you in there? So I was like, please, I don't want to explain it. Just get me out. You know? So she made some calls, and they called me up to the warden. And I was like, fuck, I didn't know that process was happening for my grandma. So I was like, they need to talk to you. So I'm like scared still. I go up there. He's like, come in. I was like, oh, this is a test.
Yeah. Like
They got me in here for being American. Like, I was like, I'm not fucking talking English. I was like, acting like I don't know, hero. Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, please, come in, come in. And I was like, okay, man. He's like, you speak English, right? I said, vale. She's like, speak English. I said, okay.
All right.
He's like, don't worry. Your grandmother called. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to release you. And then you still have to go to court, but we already called. You know, the process will be easier for you. I said, oh, thank God. I don't know what the fuck grandma did, but I was like, thank you. Thank you. She got me out. So I was there for a few hours, A few hours, but it was an eventful few hours.
Yeah.
And then the whole process, you had to go through that. Like, I had to go to the court system, do all that, because it had to be all legally documented. Yeah. But it was a little easier.
So you came back, was that like, how old were you when that happened?
When the jail thing happened, I was 18.
So you still had another year until you came back.
Yeah. I learned my lesson then, so then I was smarter about it later. There wasn't any of those type of things happening, just different way.
Jeez, man, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Now you're like, I don't know if I'm going to go back anytime soon.
No, I haven't gone back because I'm like, man, I have too much
to
lose
stuck
now.
there.
I have too much to lose now to get stuck there. You know, back then, I had nothing. You know, it was just partying and having a good time. I was a kid. Now it's like you cannot afford that. So I haven't been back since.
And now you're here. Got a great cigar line.
Thank you, bro.
Again, killing it.
Thank you, bro.
So what's next with Emami Cigars?
Next is going to be PCA for us. It's a huge deal for the company. So PCA, the biggest exhibition trade show for the cigar industry. All the biggest manufacturers are going to be there. If you are somebody in the industry or wanting to be into of buying from somebody in the industry, that's the place you want to be at once a year. So that's the biggest thing in April. We're going to be there. We have our booth.
Yeah.
We have 40,000 cigars prepped up. So
I hope you sell out.
We are ready to sell the shit out of that. And then from then, you know, it's I think we're going to work on our flavored lineup. You know, it's something that, you know, I know that the demand is there for it.
It's number one seller in most cigars.
Yes.
Or most cigar lounges. That's a flavored cigar. It's like that here.
Yeah. So that's my next thing. We're already working on creme brulee, blueberry, old-fashioned, macchiato.
Old-fashioned. That sounds good.
It's gotta be good.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
That's right. We like to be a little unique, you know, and the creme brulee, you know, and then the macchiato, you know.
Old fashioned is my favorite drink, so that's gonna be
mine too, bro.
Yeah,
I love old fashioned.
Oh man,
everywhere I go, I'm like, give me an old fashioned. Everywhere I go, I say, oh, this is the best old fashioned I had. I'm just saying it, but that's usually what I do. Yeah.
So looking back, you know, if you can go back in time, you know, and you like, what would you say to your younger self? Like let's say like 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah. Now that you're here, like what advice would you give your younger self?
Take more risk. You know, I took a lot more risk in the past like 5-6 years, but 10 years ago I wasn't as. And if I ever had to go back to those times, even in my 20s, I would say, dude, take as much fucking risk as you can.
Yeah.
Fail as much as you can. Who gives a fuck? You get back up. You figure it out.
It's a learning lesson.
It's a learning lesson.
What do we say, Eastside? It ain't an L. It's a learning lesson. It's a lesson.
It's a lesson.
Yeah.
It's a lesson. So I would say that to myself, to anybody. I mean, at any age, really. But at a younger self, it's more important because you have years. And you can't take years back, right? Time. So the younger you are, the more you fall, it's easier to get back up and keep going. The older you get, it gets tougher. You still can do it, but it just gets tougher because now you're like, let's say 50 years old and you do something.
It's like I got a lot of time.
By the time I get back up and get something going again, it could be 55, you know? So it's it's important to take those big risks.
So what would you tell somebody that's getting in the cigar industry that wants to create their own line? Now that you've kind of, you know, got your feet wet in it, like what advice would you give somebody if they're like, hey, I want to start my own brand?
Well, if they just want to start their own brand versus like, okay, I want to get into manufacturing my own cigars, it's totally different, right? Because I'm in more of really on the bigger end of creating it, not just like buying something and then slapping label and having a brand. Yeah. You could do that easy.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, so there is that fine line of knowing what they want to really do. But let's say somebody is like trying to get into the business, like starting their own brand, starting their own company.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I would say for them is make sure that you have a very good connection in the industry to where you can have good supply of tobacco and a good experienced rollers and blenders.
Yeah.
You wanna get in with the right guys, because there's a lot of people in this industry that are small. They're not bad.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure is not there. So once you start scaling and you get big, then you have to move.
Yeah.
Because they can't keep up. So you want to position yourself in a position to where you have good supply chain of tobacco, good production. So when you get ready to scale, you have no
You're ready
issues,
for it. Yep. Yep. All right. Last question before we head out. Where do you see yourself and your brand like the next 5-10 years?
In the next 5 years, I would say Emami brand, obviously it's going to expand in their line, but we want to be globally known. So nationally, of course, in the next year or two, big expansion nationally. But in 5
PCA's
years,
going to help.
Yes, big
You're
time.
going to be driving all across the country.
I won't be. I won't be.
You're like,
I'm hiring. I've already got people on the list. So no. Once that expansion happens, there's going to be a lot of hiring. So next year or two, big expansion to the U.S. 5 years globally. 10 years, multi countries global. And I think I'm also going to start doing some custom, like private lounges for Emami as well.
Yeah.
I'll probably get into that scene of, okay, let's pop in some really nice high-end private type of lounges too.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Which is going to be really the real estate game for me.
Yeah.
So
look at you, bro. You got big dreams, and that's awesome. And you're going to hit them. I know you are, bro. You're blowing up.
thank you, bro.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on, man. This has been good. You got good sticks, good
bro.
time.
I got so excited talking with you. I haven't been really even pumping on mine.
It happens with everybody, so don't worry.
Okay.
I'm always able to finish my cigar. My guest never is.
I know.
I got to make them talk.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm so happy to be here, bro. And I'm grateful. So and
Yeah, I look forward because I told you this year we're gonna try you out.
good.
Yeah.
Good. You will not be disappointed.
No,
I tell you what, bro. And we're local. So I live in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm not that far away from you. So if there's anything you need, I'm I'm right here.
And you guys, and you do a good job too. If not only do you have your brand, but you help market the lounges that have your brand, so that helps them too.
Well, remember, bro,
speaking of sirens,
coming to fucking get me, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, I feel it. I'm better at it.
No, I would hope you've been here for a minute. Yeah,
you might.
Yeah, you little jump. Yeah,
a little tense.
Yeah.
I feel it right away in my chest, especially. So, the goal is always to help you.
Yeah.
Because you are the foot on the ground pushing the product. We are the ones that are creating and supplying. Now, of course, we have an online store too, but that's a total different story. But for the lounges, if it wasn't for you and the clients, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So it's number one is for us is to make sure that the clients are happy. That's what good tobacco, good production of quality smoke, and good pricing. Meet that comfort zone for the clients. Then it's like, how much, if I could do anything to help as you succeed, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Like I had a lounge the other day call me. He's like, "Oh, can we get some marketing?" So I was like, "Dude, whatever the fuck you need.
Yeah.
You want me to make you a big fucking sign, LED sign, put it in there? You want me to I'll do it. You give me measurements. You tell me your vision. I'll even go back and forth with you, give you some ideas.
Yeah.
You pull the trigger. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you win, we win. So yeah, I'm all about that.
And that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Well, my guy, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you,
this has been good. This has been good.
Good about, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing you in the future, man. Look forward to bringing it in, and look forward to everybody trying your sticks out. And
I can't wait.
Much success to you. And I hope the best for you, man.
Thank you so much.
I love seeing you grow and
love you, bro.
Seeing your brand grow. So
let's go.
Yeah,
baby.
let's go, man.
Let's go together.
Yeah.
Love
and thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us on the platforms. at Strawberry Hill Podcast and come down here and check us out. Like I said, it's our 2-year anniversary tonight. I know this airs Tuesday, but come and see us. And we're out.
Goodbye, everybody.